Welcome, Earthlings. My name is Brandon, and I'm a nerd. And as a nerd, I like to watch movies and complain about their cover art. Fortunately for me, though, I happen to be a graphic designer who's very well capable of fixing lackluster design problems. With that said, let's get started with Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Where did I put that thing? So in my copy of Season 3, somebody thought it would be a good idea to stack one disc on top of the other one, so that if you want to watch Disc 2, your left hand holds the movie case, your right hand holds Disc 1, while your left big toe puts Disc 2 into the DVD player. I was fortunate enough to find the cover art for Season 3 online, so that I could print it and put it into a 2-disc DVD box. The only problem was that I didn't have the episode guide that was printed in the original, so I ripped some pictures from the internet and made my own episode guide that could fit the clamps on the left side of the box. After I finished the Scooby-Doo episode guide, I moved on to another show from my childhood, Danny Phantom. This time the box and DVD setup was actually fine. It was easy to go through discs and continue where you left off. The only problem was, again, no episode guide. So again, using high quality internet art and making text boxes to match the style of the show, I made an easily legible episode guide. Now, before going on, I should explain something. I went from Scooby-Doo to Danny Phantom, so you're probably thinking, wow, this guy really likes cartoons. And you are absolutely correct, I love cartoons. But my crowning achievement, I own the entire Disney Animated Classics collection. I own Snow White, and I own Wreck-It Ralph 2, and I own everything in between those movies. Unfortunately, though, it all came at a great cost. I spent $70 to buy one of those movies, The Three Caballeros. Never heard of it? Neither have I. But after I purchased it, I really wanted to make sure nothing would happen to it, especially in the hands of someone who didn't know its worth. So I made a thing. It's rare. Be careful with it. The next hurdle in my life came from Batman 66. Whenever I wanted to pull a disc out, I would pull at it, sometimes for up to a minute, and I know it looks like I'm really sucking, but I'm actually trying. And it was fastened way too hard into the holder. I was worried I might start bending the discs, so I created Bat Disc Removers, which made everything come out easy. Speaking of the Bright Knight, let's take a look at the regular Batman, who single-handedly took down a demented clown, a Catwoman, a Penguin Man, and Jim Carrey. Yeah, this series went from bizarrely creepy to Bat credit cards. Anyway, the Burton Schumacher quadrilogy. It was packaged with my favorite thing, stacked discs. Because I didn't have a 4-disc Blu-ray box, I decided to make a Blu-ray for each movie. The internet had these movies laid out for me already, but I made a few tweaks to each one and made it look like the Blu-rays were sold to me that way. After I was finished with that, you know the story. Poor packaging, how do I fix it? This time I was working with The Hunger Games. Again, I didn't have 4-disc packaging options, so I made one for each movie. And again, they looked like the actual packaging. However, I did make a twist to this one. I changed out the spine so that when the 4 movies sit together on a shelf, we have Jenny Lawrence. Moving on. Wait, what? You gotta be kidding me. Because they're all Tim Burton movies or something? Look, it's one thing when you want to package a film series together, but when you package something a director did together, it's just stupid. I mean, you may as well put together Once Upon a Time in America and Home Alone, and then call it the Joe Pesci collection. Anyway, I made The Corpse Bride and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory like you'd expect. Beetlejuice was a little different, though. I was going to put it together just like the other movies, but I really don't like the theatrical art for the movie. It's also been translated to all the Blu-ray covers. The poster art is just too neat and clean cut, while the movie itself is off the rails and totally bonkers. At this point, I had been very OCD about making sure the cover art looked exactly the same. But I thought to myself, if I make a cover that's completely different, I would make something completely original. So I found a nice picture of Mikey and made that the new cover. This is my cover of Beetlejuice, and there is not another one like it in the world. But this was just the beginning. I would stumble across a world of movies that were so bad they were never released on DVD. Someone would need to bootleg these atrocities to make DVD art for them, and I thought to myself, I'm a bad movie enthusiast. I guess that man is me. My mission was set in stone. I must create DVD art for bad movies for the rest of time. That, or I did on a couple of occasions and thought it'd be cool to watch in next week's video. But I'll leave it up to you to decide which reality is true. Like this video, subscribe, and check out my website if you need a designer. Peace.